A great example of what Ren does, email obtained by FOIA, shows the Ren Collective writing to the DA of Portland. You can see Ren bragging about the model policies they wrote for a DA in Virginia and their offer of the free staffing, crisis PR support, and donors. Mike and Aaron, it was great speaking with you today. Attached are 2 model policies, soft on crime policies, on probation and bail that we wrote for Virginia Commonwealth attorneys. In addition to assistance with staffing issues, office organization and communication support during policy rollout in case the public objects, and in times of crisis, when a killing occurs unnecessarily, we have written and could help with policies in the following areas: bail, diversion, intake, probation, plea guidelines, fines and fees, prosecutions related to policing. We do this work without any billing. It's all free. All this chaos, all this violent crime. Who's on the side of Iryna? Who's on the side of all the victims of these demons committing these violent crimes? They have their defenders. They're organized, well-funded defenders. Who's on the side of society? Crime against Arena Zeriztka was committed by a capital B black man against a lowercase w white woman. If you are white, you are a second-class citizen in the eyes of our progressive elite. Charlie Kirk, the left accuses conservatives of racializing the death of Arena Zeriztka while literally making sure to capitalize the word black while not capitalizing the other inferior color of white. They are a pack of liars who have racialized quite literally everything in America since at least 2014, but really since long before that. They're not mad we're talking about race. They're just mad their white guilt spell is no longer working. This was about a week after this event took place, a few days after the video had been released. Look at the mainstream media. AP, Associated Press, stories on this attack, 0. PBS, 0. New York Times, 0. NPR, 0. Wall Street Journal, 0. BBC, 0. CNN, 0. Washington Post, 0. Reuters, 0. MSNBC, 0. If we did not have X, this social media platform, we'd never know about this. And you think if any of these news agencies had reported on this, they would have included this video in their reporting? Because when they finally got around to reporting on it, how did they do it? Mentions in the New York Times: George Floyd, 5,300. Trayvon Martin, 1,100. Daniel Penny, 100. Michael Brown, 2,600. Arena Zeriztka, once. And the article is not actually about her murder. It's about how the right is upset about her murder. A gruesome murder in North Carolina ignites a firestorm on the right. Look at the CNN reporting as if this were a completely passive event. 2 meteors connected outside the orbit of Mars. No one's responsible for anything. This headline from CNN: how the lives of a Ukrainian refugee and a Charlotte man with a criminal history converged in a fatal stabbing. They just converged. It was a random event. Just physics. Nothing could have been done. It is psychotic, their take on this. And it's not an accident, folks. This guy was arrested 14 times. He served prison time for crimes of violence. He was on society's radar. This happens because of systemic corruption in our society and our criminal justice system. Arena Zeriztka is not dead because she was hit by a meteor. She's dead because of bad policy that is being deliberately spread with lots of money behind it to every major city in a systematic way. Obviously, George Soros DAs, the soft on crime DAs, we're not going to prosecute property crimes under $1,000. And then they're bewildered when every Target and Walgreens and CVS has to lock up every product in the store because now they're just free for the taking. Just walk in. Walk in with a bag, clear off a shelf, walk out without paying for it. As long as you're under $1,000, no one's going to do anything to you. It's legalized looting. Look at this. Unearthed emails show left-wing group quietly writing policies for progressive DAs. No billing, no publicity. Don't indict in the first place. And then it's not a crime that goes on the records. It's called the Ren Collective. There's a secretive group with very little public profile, but massive influence. They provide communication support, staffing, messaging, campaign, consulting, and above all, pre-written policy strategies to more than 40 far left DAs. A great example of what Ren does, email obtained by FOIA, shows the Ren Collective writing to the DA of Portland. You can see Ren bragging about the model policies they wrote for a DA in Virginia and their offer of the free staffing, crisis PR support, and donors. I'll read it. Mike and Aaron, it was great speaking with you today. Attached are 2 model policies, soft on crime policies, on probation and bail that we wrote for Virginia Commonwealth attorneys. In addition to assistance with staffing issues, office organization and communication support during policy rollout in case the public objects, and in times of crisis when a killing occurs unnecessarily, we have written and could help with policies in the following areas: bail, diversion, intake, probation, plea guidelines, fines and fees, prosecutions related to policing, Brady and do not call or exclusion lists for officers, conviction integrity or sentencing review units, juvenile transfer, felony and misdemeanor case backlogs. We do this work without any billing. It's all free, folks. It's all free. All this chaos, all this violent crime. Emails show the now removed DA of Orlando, removed by DeSantis, sending forensics files to this organization, allowing them to edit her memo explaining why she wouldn't charge a 17-year-old who shot and killed someone at a football game. This organization has this kind of access inside prosecutors' offices in these urban centers everywhere. Email shows this organization, Ren, also ghost wrote op-eds, set up press conferences, scheduled softball interviews with reporters. Who's on the side of Iryna? Who's on the side of all the victims of these demons committing these violent crimes? They have their defenders. They're organized, well-funded defenders. Who's on the side of society? 9mm SMG and other good follow-on X's. No one should ever question why this child thought it was necessary to carry weapons again. The argument is over. The argument is over. Homath. He writes, I watched the entire video. I don't regret it. I prefer to know what reality is. I do not feel any different than I did before. I have understood that this is reality for about a dozen years now, and I know it goes back hundreds of years. I cannot hate this any harder. The volume only goes up to 100. This incident is the same story as Trayvon, as Michael Brown, as Breonna Taylor, as Rodney King, as OJ, as Emmett Till. It's always the same story. Genetically violent behavior causes terrible pain and loss to white people, and the media blames, quote unquote, racism. And justice is never done. More importantly, the tribe then takes the side of the attacker. I repeat this a lot. They are not all like that. They will not all do this. But if you live near a few thousand of them or more, one of them will probably do this to you or someone you know. And then the vast majority of the rest of them will support him. What was the GoFundMe money raised for the killer of Austin Metcalf? It was over $1 million, right? The young black man who just stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart for no apparent reason under that tent at that track meet, killed him. Austin Metcalf, another stabbing victim who was mortally wounded instantly, a single stab cut, and then got to lay there and die, knowing he was dying. Over $1 million for the killer of Austin Metcalf, Carmelo Anthony. How much was raised for Iryna in her GoFundMe? I think it was about 40 grand, just enough for a decent funeral. Who was supporting Carmelo Anthony with that 1.5 million? Was that not the black community? Was it the white community who just started throwing money into that GoFundMe, into the 7 figures plus? And right now you may have a gun, like I have a gun. Carry a gun for personal protection, to protect myself, my family from violent crime. But only white people support this private ownership and carrying of guns, demographically speaking. Of course, there are individual black people who support concealed carry. But as a demographic group, just look at the stats. You ask Asians, 77% want more gun control. That means you can't carry a gun. Black people, 73% want more gun control. Hispanics, 69% want more gun control. It's only white people, where a majority wants less gun control, wants the ability for law-abiding, mentally sound American citizens to carry guns for personal protection. What happens when that last group is in the minority? And those other demographics aren't trying to take your gun rights away marginally. These are big percentages. 80%, 70%, 70%. When they're in charge, you won't have a gun. We'll be like England, where those poor bastards are left defenseless. I don't care how much BJJ you know. If you're beset by 3 young male attackers and you're weaponless, you are done. This table is what proportion of violent crime would be prevented if recidivism stopped after the X conviction. So I know you probably can't read it, but I'll read it for you. If we had a 10-strike law, after the 10th conviction, it's a life sentence, you're never let out again, we'd reduce violent crime by 20%. We reduce violent crime by 20% if we let them first commit 10 felonies. If we limit that to 5 felonies as freebies, we reduce violent crime by 40%. If we did it after 2 strikes, we would eliminate 2/3 of violent crime. And if it was a 1-strike rule, 80% of violent crime would be eliminated. Can I ask, why is it not a 1-strike rule? Why is it not, if you commit a violent crime, murder, rape, armed robbery, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, why is it not 1 strike? Why is that not a life sentence? Why do we give a pass on those?